The Wesley Foundation. A picture of beauty. The flowers are blooming. The breeze is high in the trees. It may look like an ordinary college campus, but if you take a closer look, it might surprise you.
Good day, mates. My name's Rebecca Hahn, and I'll be your guide tonight on Wesley Safari 2.0. Join me as we explore the Wesley and find out just what strange creatures are inhabiting it. You may have met my predecessor and seen his work before in the past, Bill Hahn. But unfortunately, due to an accident, he was swallowed whole by an Adam and a Lashley Doragus. But, gratefully, his associate Alex has given us her blessing to continue his work and be able to present this to you tonight. So hold on tight, because it's going to be a wild ride. Here we see in totality what we call a flock of Wesleyans. These Wesleyans are very unique, for they're all juvenile, but they work very hard. What they are doing now is they are creating a beautiful space for their Wesley habitat. These Wesleyans specifically are very split on the idea of hard work, for you can see some of them are very hard workers, while others not so much. Here we can see the juxtaposition of the two hard workers. A Katie, knowing that she should plant her food for the winter, but this Bennett just fondles the dirt. The wild Bennett is a very strange creature. As you can see, it likes to work, but it does it so oddly. Instead of planting plants like a normal person, it lays on its stomach and leans onto the ground. This is known as a technique called the Bennett. Here we see the wild Bennett attempting to juggle. He's a very young Bennett, for he doesn't have much skill yet. But as we can see, with more and more practice, the wild Bennett becomes more talented. Here we see his skills have improved over time. This is a very great accomplishment for the wild Bennett, as this is a very important skill for their upbringing. He surveys the area. He throws down his spades. He picks them up again. Good job, Bennett. Good job. Here we see the wild Bennett practicing his defense mechanisms. Now he decides, instead of joining the group, he will go and venture out and form his own hole. Silly Bennett, that's not where you dig. Wow, here we've had an actual sighting of the elusive Adam. This is very unique because not many documentaries are of the elusive Adam out there in circulation. This is because the Adam tends to hide away and doesn't like to be filmed so much. This wild Adam is preening himself and keeping himself clean. Wild Adams often do this when very dirty, similar to how the cat species might. This is very unique because the wild Adam can carry up to twice his size in dirt. This is very important for the projects that these animals have been at today. This wild Adam is now opening his bag, and here we'll see that he's going to lay the ground for his new home. Here we see this one wild Katie in her natural habitat. What she is doing now is moving flowers. She will later store this as her food for the winter. Here we see this Katie carrying her flowers to her den. And maybe, just maybe, this food will be enough to tide her over for the rest of the year. We've been spotted! This is a very special occasion as we see this wild Katie pruning her flowers. She knows we're watching. This makes her act more and more unique, contrary to her character. This Katie has what we call the deer in the headlights.
The wild McKenna is a very unique species. It's one of the only known creatures in the wild that know how to use tools. In fact, they are so elevated that they have even evolved to plant their own flowers.
Here we see we've been spotted by the wild tailor and McKenna. The McKenna isn't too keen on being filmed for this documentary, while the tailor was showing off for it. Here we see the McKenna using her defense mechanism, flinging her poop. Here wild McKenna shows the wild Bennett her natural grazing food. She sniffs it to make sure it's fresh, and so does the Bennett. They decided that one's not so fresh. She also examines other food that she might store for later and keep for the winter. Here she gives it to this Bennett, who also examines the food. They throw it back and forth, much like two young cubs might. Good job. Oh, the Timothy is in on the game too. Will he eat it? Maybe. Find out what happens next. Oh, he did eat it. Good job, Timothy. Maybe that'll keep your hunger away. Here we see other Wesleyans hard at work, while these Wesleyans are not so hard at work. I understand that we've seen this commonly throughout this program, but as you can see, it really is just their natural states. Here we see the wild Bennett showing off for our video. We're not really sure what he's doing. We think he might be trying to show off for the ladies, showing his supreme skill and durability. We've been spotted again, and our position's been revealed. Here they both practice and try to chop off their fingers. Maybe they'll save it for food for later. Here we have the wild Tim. It is very rare to see in the wild. Here you see this Tim is not very eager to be on our program. That is the wild Timothy. Oh no, look, he came back. In his natural habitat. He's fled. Here's what we have called the wild Rachel. The wild Rachel tends to think it's better than others at playing frisbee, so it likes to show other animals how it's done. Here we see the wild Rachel disappointed that her endeavors have not been successful. This particular Rachel is retreating to her shell. We may not find her for hours more.
2 hours later.
Rachels can sometimes go into what is known as a torpor state. Oh, she's back! The elusive intern. Here we see two interns. They may not look like they're doing much, but they're doing what we call moral support. Here we can see one intern, an Amanda species, encouraging another of the young whippersnappers. Here we have the wild Nelson, eating his natural food and consuming them by the dozens. Here we see him attacking his prey, the crawfish. Here we have a very interesting sighting of the wild Amanda. Oh, we've been spotted. Here we have what they call the Amanda in the headlights look. This frequently can happen when the Amanda is startled and afraid to move.
Come on, Amanda.
Here we see my assistant Rachel. You can hear her trying to call to the wild Amanda.
You can do it.
And maybe we'll get some better footage of her for this documentary. She has fled the scene. Here we have what scientists have decided to call the wild atom. This particular atom is very cleanly, as you see it's carrying some garbage bags. It's also very friendly as we see it approaching us. Oh no, maybe we'll be attacked. Nope, turns out it's friendly. Here we see it observing its natural food. He tastes it. He eats it. He devours it. Wow, what an experience. Here we have a herd of wild freshmen performing what seems to be a mating ritual. We are very, very lucky to be witnessing this wonderful experience. Scientists aren't really sure why this is the particular ritual that they've chosen. However, with a little more research, we might find out. They seem to be performing a very, very odd mating ritual, slightly different from the ones we've seen in the past. Here we see this particular Katie and Emily going wild. Here we see a wild Morgan performing her mating ritual. Scientists still aren't sure why she does this, and she likes to throw things. She likes to get low, but we don't know why. Here we have wild phi lamb girls. They seem to be performing what is called a toot toot beep beep. We're not really sure why they're doing this, but you know, good job girls, good job. Here we have a wild Stuart, never before seen. He's performing what seems to be a twerk. And in the back we have a wild Timothy, also doing some sort of mating ritual. We seem to have a lot of that going on tonight. As I said before, scientists really don't know why they do what they do. But they do it, just because they can. Wow, okay, so... Oh, look, here's some romantic goings on over here as the wild Timothy grooms the Bennett. You see, they send a romantic glance to each other.